Alrighty, well, hello sinners. How are ya? I already know you're doing well because today is day 5 of the second annual 12 Days of Sinmas. We're almost halfway through Sinmas. Can you believe it? And my gift to you for the 5th day of Sinmas is nothing. This happened last year, didn't it? Well, I guess this means we'll be watching yet another clip from TLC's Extreme Cheapskates. The only thing we're learning from this channel is what not to do in our daily lives. I feel like we've all binged Extreme Cheapskates on our days off, but if you've never heard of it for some reason, Extreme Cheapskates is a TLC show where a camera crew follows the cheapest people in America and shows their peculiar spending habits, or lack thereof. Are these cheapskates actually as cheap as they say when the camera's turned off? Probably not, but it still makes for good content. Just like with Cut and Jubilee, commentary creators such as myself have a symbiotic relationship with TLC. What can I say? Nature's beautiful. Today we'll be watching a clip from the 3rd season where this father will go to just about any measure to save a few bucks. It's a family affair, y'all, but before we continue, let's hear a word from today's sponsor. With all this talk about saving money, Scentbird is here to help you smell expensive on a budget. Scentbird is a fragrance subscription service that lets you choose a new designer fragrance to try every month. This is great if you're indecisive like me. Before I go anywhere, I spray on a little bit of cologne or perfume because smelling good is imperative to me. But I'm also very picky, and I don't want to invest a lot of money into designer fragrances only to not like them, which is why I love Scentbird. They offer affordable and flexible subscription plans. You can skip or even cancel your subscription at any time, no questions asked. Scentbird has over 600 perfumes and colognes in stock, along with a bunch of unisex options. They carry big name brands like Gucci, Prada, and Versace, along with indie labels like Skylar, Heretic, and Confessions of a Rebel. This month, I received 3 fragrances from Scentbird, so let me show you what I got. First is Sea Salt Caramel by Boho Boko. It has notes of fresh lemon, sea salt, pink pepper, seaweed, and salted caramel, hence the name Sea Salt Caramel. When I smelled this initially, the first word that came to mind was beach. This is definitely a scent I'll be wearing during the summer months. Next, I got Amber Molecule, made by The Perfumer Story. It smells very woodsy if you're into that, with notes of amber, sandalwood, and musk. But by far my favorite perfume I got this month was Ready for Rosé by Veronique Gabay, which contains a great mix of floral and musky notes. This has everything I look for in a fragrance, and I said I was picky earlier, so you know I mean that. If you decide to try Scentbird, you'll receive a 30-day supply so you can test out different fragrances before committing to a full-size bottle. Because you know what? Some of these fragrances, they cost up to $500. That is a huge commitment. Normally, Scentbird costs $17 a month, but by using my code Annamarie55 at checkout, you'll get 55% off your first box, which comes to roughly $7. So make sure to click the link below and use code Annamarie55 for 55% off your first box. So thank you to Scentbird for helping me and my sinners smell fresh this Sinmas season. Now let's get back to your scheduled programming. So the title of this specific clip is "This Cheapskate Father is Ruining His Kids' Lives." That's quite the dramatic title, I'll say, but I guess it's up to us to see if this guy is really ruining his kids' lives.
All right, let mommy do that side over there.
Well, that seems perfectly normal. They're just vacuuming the inside of their car at some car wash. But knowing TLC, there's gonna be a twist. There's never been a normal intro in a TLC video.
I was vacuuming there, and I think my wife lost her earring.
Yeah, no problem. It just goes right in here.
All right, kids.
The first time that I had to dig into a vacuum bin, I was pretty grossed out.
Get the quarters, hit the quarters.
I mean, it is Extreme Cheapskates, so what I'm gathering is that this guy lied about the vacuum sucking up his wife's earring. So he conned the employee so that they can get free stuff from the vacuum bin. It's one thing if he was doing it by himself, like that's already a pretty shitty thing. I don't know, I just don't like liars. But to rope your kids into it is already the reddest fucking flag. Redder than my t-shirt. Like, leave the kiddies out of this. God damn. See, this is why millennials and Gen Zers can't buy houses. It's because we're not doing this.
I keep doing it just about every week. I kind of get used to it. It's become like a second nature to me.
Kids love going to the car wash because it's like a treasure hunt for them.
Oh yeah, they look so thrilled.
Did you find the earring?
We have found earphones, jewelry, change, of course, a lot of change.
Yeah, there's a mint there. Pick it up. Get it.
We have found candy. Is it open?
Candy? Fucking vacuum candy? Ma'am, you can get a whole bag of mints at the $1.25 store. Like quarters, I get it. I also get excited when I see a coin on the ground. But like gum? Weirdos. No offense. I mean that with love. I just don't like getting the kiddies involved. Leave them out of it. If you want to go dumpster diving and vacuum bin hunting, do it when they're at soccer practice or something.
No, it's sealed. It's sealed.
So it's okay to eat?
Yeah.
I don't care if the fucking mint is sealed. That's still disgusting.
Nicholas, you find the earring?
No, he did not find the fucking earring because you lied about the fucking earring. Poor Nicholas. Justice for Nicholas. He's fed up. So am I.
2 older kids now. They used to do it when they were little.
He'd said, hurry, hurry, get the nickels, get the nickels.
Quarters.
They have more kids? They have more kids that they subjected to this? Oh, man. I know I'm ripping into the parents a lot and we're not even 2 minutes into the clip, but like, I don't know. I don't like involving the kids in this shit. Be weird on your own. Don't pass down your weird relationship with money to your children. Like, you could teach them to be responsible without going overboard. Having them dig in a vacuum bin on a nice Saturday afternoon.
And then at the end, my dad would just place something there and be like, oh, look, we found it.
Let me see. 1 second. I think I got it. This is it?
The worker's like, oh, I don't think you got it, sir. I don't think it was ever there.
Yeah, that's it.
We got it, kids. I'm sure maybe one day they're going to have their own kids doing this, so we pass the torch to them as they did pass the torch to the little ones now.
Yeah, that sounds like a really great idea, Dad.
My father, he's very dedicated. All he wants is to save money. And I think he does it out of the kindness of his heart. It's just annoying.
He's doing it out of the kindness of his heart. Okay, so is he like donating it to charity? Is he putting it towards his kids' college funds? Like, where's the money going? What's the purpose?
As a family of 6, we consume lots of food. And now that my 2 oldest children are back home for the summer, I have to be very, very careful not to go over budget.
I mean, I'm sure I don't have to tell this guy or any of you at home, but feeding a family is expensive, and the more kids you got, the more expensive it's gonna be, especially in Joe Biden's economy. But it's nice that he's taking them out to eat. I just hope it doesn't get worse from here.
We love diners. You know, New Jersey is the diner capital of the world. So it's a pretty regular habit for us to go to diners.
They're from my home state? Have I bumped into them at one of our fantastic diners? That's the one thing I've agreed with him on so far. New Jersey has some really nice diners. They don't call us the diner capital of the nation for nothing. They don't call us that.
Going to a diner with my dad is the most embarrassing thing ever. He and my mother, they get coffee and they split it. And then they get unlimited refills. We all have to get waters.
The parents can get the fun drink, but the rest of the kids can. Cool. So they all have to make makeshift lemonade with the lemons and the sugar that they asked for. I feel so sad for them, man. And the dad said that the 2 oldest kids are home for the summer, so I assume that means that they go to college. So at least they have an escape, but like the little ones are stuck.
Can I have 2 extra plates, please?
Sure, and 2 extra for me as well.
Yeah.
You guys need anything else?
Can I have some extra lettuce and tomato, please, on the side? Thank you. The great thing about diners is
So they're all getting a piece of the club sandwich. Like, I guess that's one way to save, like, sharing a big portion of a dish with your family. Like, that's fine. I think I'm okay with that. But, like, the water and, like, the sugars and the lemon, like, making the DIY lemonade, like, I don't know how I feel about that, especially when, like, the parents can get the nice fun drink, but the kids can't. I don't know, maybe they take turns or like this is just the parents' turn to have the fun drink. I don't know, it just doesn't seem fair. And I understand with like struggling parents, like they try their best to still give their kids a good life. And I think that's wonderful. And I'm not trying to knock that. But it just seems like they're purposely like trying to maximize how much food and drink they can get without spending money and kind of screwing the business. I don't know, we'll have to see.
Diners usually serve you these huge portions.
In our culture, we share. We have big plates of food on the table and everybody eats from everything. It's normal to share, but it's not normal to share club sandwiches.
I think depending on the size of the sandwich, it's normal to share. Like, I don't know, in my opinion, the club sandwich thing, that's fine. Especially when you have like 2 younger children, they're not eating adult-sized portions. I get the sandwich thing, weirdly enough.
If I'm with my kids, we get tons of samples of whatever it is and just bring them home, and it's great.
The waitresses think we are psycho.
Listen, I take a couple extra sugar and ketchup packets at restaurants sometimes, but like this is a little much. If it's like a big chain restaurant, f them. But if it's like a mom and pop, this is a bit disrespectful.
Give us the dirtiest looks I've ever seen in my life.
Ready?
Ready?
Yeah, we're ready.
I don't think my habits are extreme. They're just regular. This is the way I am, so nothing is extreme for me.
So then I'd hate to see what's extreme for him. I'm trying to be as sympathetic as possible because I understand, you know, having a big family is hard, not just the parenting aspect, but the financial aspect, doing what you can to make sure your kids are getting their needs met and still, you know, treating them every now and then. But what kind of example are you setting for them when you lie to a car wash employee about losing a diamond earring or just like being selfish with the amount of free samples you get from an independent restaurant?
In the garage of our house, he has a little workstation. It's a little money-saving station.
What was he doing with the cream just now? Why not just leave it in like the little cups, put it in your fridge?
As a family of 6, we consume lots of water. Bottled water can cost $1 per bottle.
Not if you shop at the right places. Especially if you shop at like Costco, you can get like a giant pack for like however much, but I think he's like vastly overestimating the price of things.
If I was buying bottled water for my family, we're talking more than 100 bottles a week. Instead of buying new bottles of spring water, I just keep the old ones and I refill them with tap water from the hose. And then just to...
I have a perfect solution for you, Father. I don't know his name. Why not just buy everyone reusable water bottles from the Dollar Tree? Get a Brita filter for your sink. Bada bing, bada boom. Problem solved. You're not going to be buying 100 water bottles a week. The upfront cost might be pricey, but I think long term, you're saving a bit of money and you're being sustainable. A win is a win.
And I refill them with tap water from the hose. And then just...
Also, the hose water? Come on, man. Brita's the answer.
And then just to create that magic final touch, what I do is I use this non-toxic clear nail polish. So when you open the bottle, it makes that magic clicking sound, so...
That's just adding insult to injury, dude. Like, who cares about the illusion? They probably still know they're drinking hose water.
My dad, he thinks we don't notice. I notice right away. Kids fall for it, though. It works.
It's something that I just struggle with a lot.
Oh my God. And it's like the kids know. So like, why lie to them? At least let them have some bit of dignity and be honest with them.
I just saved $1 right here.
So he thinks like a 24 pack of water bottles is $24? No, that can't be right. Hold on. See, Target. Right here. If my math is right, that's a 32 pack for $5.99. I need my calculator. Hold on. This is journalism, ladies and gentlemen. So that's like 18 cents a bottle. You are vastly overestimating the cost of a water bottle. You could get 2 40 packs for less than $50. I don't know where you're shopping, but like clearly you need to be a better cheapskate. You need to talk to the people on Extreme Couponers, work out something with them, have them show you their ways. The difference between Extreme Cheapskates and Extreme Couponers is while they're both very anal, at least the couponers are more resourceful and I can respect the hustle.
I love beer. Beer is one of my passions.
So you can't spend $6 on a 24 pack or 32 pack of water bottles, but you're fine getting beer for yourself.
Now that my kids are home, you know, for the summer, it could be quite expensive.
I don't like this guy. Based on what I've seen, I don't like this guy. I don't have personal vendetta against him. I don't like what he's presenting to the world. He could be freaking Mother Teresa incarnate, for all we know.
I have these empty bottles of premium brand beer. What I do is I buy this regular cheap kind of beer, and I pour it into the premium bottles, which I just put the cap back into the bottle, and I just go like this, click, and it seals them perfectly.
Why? Why? It's in the fridge. It's already cold. Just drink it. You know, we've all had cheap beer at least once in our lives. At least one of us can have a fresh drink.
Premium beer. My kids won't even notice.
He thinks we don't notice, but we notice. I know that we recently just started drinking, but we know what crappy beer is.
It tastes like pee.
Just tell them the truth. Like, how do you expect to, like, maintain good relationships with your kids if you can't even talk to them about this stuff? Just be like, hey, you know, money's tight right now. I can't afford the premium beer. I got you guys, you know, insert name of cheap beer. Hope that's okay. And I'm sure they'd be appreciative. I'm sure they'd understand.
Hey, Francesca, got a job for you here.
I have to shake this for 10 to 15 minutes to make butter, and
What is this, Little House on the Prairie? Like, at-home recipes are a thing, but I've never heard of water bottle butter before. Maybe they're onto something. I don't know.
the butter that I make, it's pretty good.
She's gonna look like the Hulk on her right side, but on the left side, she's just gonna look like a normal 10-year-old girl.
I don't drink the water. I don't drink the beer. But the butter is actually good. My husband hates when people open up the fridge and leave it open. He feels that you're wasting energy, and energy is money.
Okay, I get that. But this is this guy we're talking about.
Every time you open the refrigerator door, there's a lot of wasted energy. And that's something that drives me crazy.
There's like a sports timer on top of the fridge. Oh my God.
Do something about it.
Yeah, just talk to your kids. Just say, hey, you know, get what you need and close the door. Just communicate.
Everyone is only allowed to open the fridge doors once a day. And they have 24 seconds to do so. And if they don't do it in that time, too bad.
So if they want like another water bottle at night, oh, too bad. You're gonna have to be thirsty. That's crazy.
Anytime we exceed that, he charges us. We're penalized with whatever it may be, dime, nickel, whatever he determines the cost was.
So it's not even like a set cost. It's just like, oh, whatever he feels like charging that day. I'd be an anxiety-filled wreck if I lived in that house. So it's like you gotta race, you gotta get your bottled butter, you gotta get your hose water, you gotta get your cheap beer, and then, you know, 24 seconds is up.
By controlling how many times a day they open the fridge door, I save about $20, $25 a month.
Do you? Do you really?
I have a love-hate relationship with that 24-second clock.
If I was you, I'd have a completely hate relationship with it, but I'll let you continue.
We have barbecues every weekend. I love to barbecue. Having a family of 6, it could be very expensive to have a barbecue. I'm mixing the crackers with the ground beef. Saltines make a great binder with hamburgers because not only do they expand the meat, but they also add flavor, and it's pretty much free.
I don't know. I'm trying to figure out this guy's logic makes my brain hurt. Whatever makes you happy. If it tastes good. I mean, saltines don't really taste like anything.
A tank of propane, it's usually about $25, $30 a tank, and that's only good for about 1 or 2 barbecues.
He takes a pot from a plant, he puts sand in there, and then he throws in sticks that he finds all around the garden, turns them up, lights it up, and that is, woo, voila, our fire.
It's another embarrassing thing to add to the list.
That's delicious.
There you go. Told you it was gonna be good.
I mean, hey, it works.
Just make sure you cut the cheese in half before you put it.
Cut the cheese in half. This barbecue is pretty cheap, but at the end of the day, people are happy.
Wait, they don't even get full buns?
But at the end,
Look. Do you see right here? He doesn't even get a full bun. Half a bun and half a cheese for you, sir. With your hose water and bottled butter. Like, it's nice that he made food for people. I don't want to on that, but like, it's like you're half-assing it. I don't know.
The cheeseburgers on my dad's grill have a very interesting and unique flavor.
Wait, we need to go back. Is he using a shovel as a spatula? You almost have to respect it at this point.
despite how cheap he is, I love him to death. He is the cheapest big heart I ever know.
Aww.
I don't think my dad will ever stop being cheap. I've only been alive for 11 years, but if he hasn't stopped in 11 years, I think it's pretty much hopeless.
She's very wise for her age. She has a good head on her shoulders. I want good things for that kid.
Having a good time is not about how much money you spend. It's just about the people that you're with.
Yay! Somewhat nice ending, at least. Nothing too gross this time, thankfully. You know, I had a lot of thoughts, and I'm very curious to hear your thoughts on this lovely family in the comments. In general, if there's anything you'd like to see from me going forward, any other TLC shows you'd like me to check out, or just any topic you want to hear me talk about, I have a Google form linked in the description where you could submit your video ideas. Thank you so much for watching today's video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to give it a tiny, tiny thumbs up and subscribe down below. Thank you to Scentbird for sponsoring day 5. I love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow for day 6. Can't believe we made it, y'all.